Alrighty, welcome back to the weight room on this last day of February 28th, 2022. Coming to you with the second check-in. And this is something that I started doing to keep myself accountable, maybe motivate if I'm doing well, or even if I'm not doing well, maybe I'll be motivated to see what you're doing. Maybe kind of like me when I say I'm not doing well, and maybe it'll motivate you to do better. But this is a check-in for what happened in my February. You know, most of this podcast, 99% of it is pretty much not me talking. And that's cool by me. I'm an introverted person when it comes to it. But I think this is going to be something that I really do enjoy doing, kind of keeping myself accountable, as well as kind of setting some goals, remembering to set those goals and check in on how those goals are doing very regularly. So that's what I'm doing today. So let's talk about a few things that I actually did well this month. And it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, but there were some good things. So we're going to talk about those first. One thing that I did pretty well was my continuation, consistency with lifting weights. I feel like I'm gaining a good amount of strength back. It's good to see, definitely good to see, but I'm not sure though. I'm not sure about what's causing my strength to kind of come back quicker than honestly I even thought it would. I don't know if it's my sleep, which I've been kind of focusing a lot on more recently, definitely like the year 2021 to 2022. I would say I was less, I guess, focused on sleep. More focused on being productive, which is really a good thing, but to a detriment of my sleep and therefore probably my overall health and recovery and stuff like that. So I don't know if that has been a big factor in why my strength has been coming back so quickly the last couple months. Or it's been maybe a diet thing, eating better maybe, whatever it's been though, it's been doing me well. Let's see, another thing I've been doing well, becoming more structured on my lifting, not just actually consistent with it, but actually saying I'm going to kind of do these things on these days, and I'm going to maybe lift a little heavier on these certain days, maybe back off on these other days a little bit more to give my body time to rest for the next week. But on the flip side, that's something I need to talk about as well, on the getting better. Let's see, I've also been drinking a lot less caffeine this month, except for these last probably like 4 days, maybe 4 or 5 days. I've been pretty heavy on the caffeine, and it's interesting what I learned about that. So we're going to talk about my caffeine and stuff like that here in just a minute, but I've been doing better drinking less for the majority of the month, which is good. Let's see, what's been not so optimal? Tracking my macros, and I said I was going to do this last month. I said I was going to do it. That was my goal for January. Didn't do it well. Didn't do it at all. I don't even know. Maybe 1 day, 2 days, something. Said I was going to do it for February. Said I was going to start. Didn't start. So I can say that. I admit it. I didn't start. I did it 1 day, and it just hasn't stuck. I said I'm going to do it. I haven't done it. I need to do it. So I'm going to do it. I'm starting. Well, starting tomorrow. That's what they all say. But I'm really starting tomorrow. I would start tonight. I don't know. Maybe I'll start tonight. I'll start tonight just so I can say I started today. I didn't wait till tomorrow. But I'm really going to do it in March. That's going to be, I think, what elevates my performance, continuing to lift. And that's going to be something that makes an even bigger difference in accomplishing my goals for that. So my diet has been a little less clean with being off 75 hard. I've been a little bit off. I wouldn't say it's been terrible, but with the not tracking my macros and with the not eating as well, just a combination of both has made me feel like I need to work on that. Another thing I need to do better this upcoming month, which I did not do well in February, is my water consumption seems to be a little lacking. And I don't know because I haven't been tracking my water, but it hasn't been that great. Another thing I had to / decided to take a break on the Peloton for February. So I haven't actually done any riding for about half the month, and it's a weird feeling. I do have a lot more time to do things with the podcast and other things, but I had a little weirdness, maybe an injury or some type of strains. I don't know what it was, but it was around my rib, and whenever I would take a big breath or I would stretch back, it would hurt. It would very sharp pain. So I decided to lay off it a little bit. I still lifted through it. It's gone away. The pain is gone. No signs of anything. So I'm getting back to it. I probably waited a few days more than I needed to wait to get back to it. I didn't reach my 750-mile goal for the month, which, would have been nice. It would have been nice. I hate setting goals and not reaching them, especially when it's something that seems like a little bit of laziness. But at the most part, it was really just me trying to be cautious, not wanting to cause a little injury to become a big injury, causing bigger problems. So that's where I am with it. That's where I am. So we're going to get back into it in March, and I have a little bit of an announcement, and it's not that big of a deal, but on my goals for the month for March. On to some general health stuff, and this is some kind of fun stuff that came back when blood results came back, as well as my DNA results came back, which I'll be sharing some interesting things from both of those, not to bore you. If you're bored with this, then I don't know why you'd be listening, but not to bore you with like super scientific data or anything like that. Just a few things I found interesting. I'm a little high on my cholesterol, my LDL, a little low on my HDL. My hemoglobin was also a little low, which turns out can be associated with COVID. I've also been focusing a lot on proper sleep and recovery, probably because of the Whoop strap. It's been interesting kind of seeing my recovery number. Today I was at a 95%, which is really good. I felt really good about that. Even though I didn't get great sleep, I still had a pretty good recovery number, and that can kind of motivate me. I like, looking at numbers like that. It also kind of makes me think, maybe I'm putting too much into, not necessarily too much into it, but maybe I'm thinking about it too hard on a daily basis and not on more of a macro, even just like a week average or something like that. But that's kind of just general what's been going on. So for March, my goals are to begin tracking my macros. And like I said, I'm going to do that today. It's February 28th. I'm going to input what I had to eat today on MyFitnessPal. Even though it's going to feel weird because it's the last day of the month, I got to do it because I always talk about just starting today. Don't wait for Monday. Even though it is a Monday, don't wait for a new month. Don't wait for a new year. Just start today. So I'm going to start today. Another goal I have for March is to hit my macros that I set for myself every day. Another thing, don't skip a lifting session for the month of March. And if I do skip, make sure I make it back up. And then begin adding more structure into my lifting. Like I said, I'm pretty structured as far as like what I'm doing without writing stuff down, but I want to start really getting into the weeds, into the thick of it, writing it down, planning it ahead of time. And I know the reason I'm not doing it is because I get let down easily if for some reason I'm not as strong in that day as I need to be, and then feel bad about it. But I need to start writing it down because it's what's helpful in progressing. And then lastly, don't miss a training day on the Peloton. This is the month. I've decided to move the 1,000-mile challenge. So I'm riding a little over 32 miles per day. I think this is going to be good, though, moving it up because I'm coming off of a almost, maybe 2 weeks of not riding it, so I'm fully recovered. Even today, the last day of the month, I had a really good recovery number, and I'm feeling good, so I'm going to get some good sleep tonight, and I'm going to go into it and get my miles in and get those 1,000 miles done this month, moving it up. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun to get these 1,000 miles in and kind of in a way get it over with as well. It's something I've been working towards since like July of last year. So it's going to be good. But that is it. That is it for me this month. That's what's been going on. That's my good. That's my bad. That's my ugly. Before we head out though, make sure you check out, and this is a plug real quick, make sure you check out the Lone Valley podcast anywhere you find podcasts pretty much. Spotify and Apple for sure. I guest on the podcast every Friday called Campfire Friday. It's a great segment. It's a great show. It's a great time. We talk about music, sports, current events, what went on in our life. It's a good time, a little funny, sometimes a little serious. We talk about some serious topics, not too much. Even if we do, we try to, make it entertaining. Check it out, Lone Valley Podcast. And I'm on there every Friday, and he does an episode on Mondays as well talking about music. So check it out. Same thing goes with the weight room. Make sure you're checking out the podcast. All places you find podcasts, subscribe, leave a rating and review. And then once again, I think I mentioned this on last month's episode, but if not, I know I put it out there on the Instagram page. Patreon. If you're not familiar with Patreon, it's just a place where you can go and support a podcast monetarily. I think it's like $3 a week or $3 a month rather to support the weight room. So you can go on there, create an account. It's free. And you pay $3 a month to support this podcast, and it's just a way, like I said, to support it. Get better gear and software, get some cool guests on potentially, create new content, create clothing, just creating new stuff for the podcast, as well as to support, the fitness community as a whole. So. That's what Patreon's all about. That's what the weight room on Patreon's all about. If you subscribe and you become, a subscriber of the weight room on Patreon, you get some cool stuff as well. So exclusive content and things of that nature, which will be going out. So give it a chance. Like I said, it's only $3 a month. Patreon's a pretty legit thing. You can check it out. There's tons of other podcasts and creators on there, big names on there. So check it out. Once again, thanks for another month of support of, guesting on the podcast, listening to the podcast, sharing the podcast. It's been quite a journey so far, and I look forward to another month of growing and developing and sharing it with you. So, that being said, I'm out. Have a good one, and I'll be back here on Thursday.